sometimes we get caught up in the manifestations and the money and the business. And like, yes, of course we want that and have that. But to get all this manifestation stuff to work means that we are connected to source energy. It means that we are connected to the universe, connected to that God love, however you want to call it. And that connection, the connection point is loving. When we are loving, we are returning to who we really are. We're returning and connecting. And when we love, we feel better. And when we feel better, worries start to melt, urgency starts to melt, the issues start to melt. Because everything we're struggling for or working towards is really because we think those things will make us feel better. But when we can tune into this moment and return to this loving feeling, we skip over all of the details and we start living now. So often we feel like we have to achieve something or do something so then I can rest, so then I can be proud, so then I can love. But we never can effort our way to those things. We have to just say, fuck it. I'm starting right now. I'm going to start feeling success now, satisfaction now, feeling achieved now, feeling proud now, feeling lucky now, feeling like a lottery winner now, feeling badass now. And so we just logged in 1 minute of just some light, loving vibes. So the key to all of this stuff is how many minutes a day can we do that? So I find that when we take that 20 minutes in the morning to say, all right, this is my time to brew this up, it's strong enough to carry throughout the day. Do we need longer than 20 minutes? Yes. Sometimes does it take an hour or two? Yes. Sometimes does it take all day? Yeah. But there's no better way to spend time than finding alignment. And there's a little trap that we sometimes can fall into because now we know the things to do. So we risk doing them without really dropping in. And we get a little bit of points for that, but I would rather than seeing you go through the motions and doing the things and checking off things without really going deep, I'd rather you go so fucking deep for 2 minutes a day. I'd rather you carve out 20 minutes of time, and the goal in that 20 minutes of time is to find 2 minutes with a crazy grin on your face. And the best way to do that is to really remind yourself where you're going. We don't need to get so caught up in rewriting and feel like we just have to fix everything and clear everything up. I've never, through the past 10 years, I've never had a totally clean bill of thoughts. The rewriting is just to get out of jail from the tormenting ones. So if you're finding yourself in a rut, in a jam, and just in yucky energy, there's an essence of like, let me free write my way out of this. But you gotta feel whether that's the right strategy. Because if you are like, let's say, something triggered you, and now your heart rate's going, and now you're nervous, and na 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 na. is rewriting the best thing in that moment? A little bit might be good. It might be good to sit down and remind yourself what you really know. But what might be even better is to make a list of 10 things you love. And rather than trying to fix something that may not even be chronic, but just fix some sort of triggered moment, rewriting may not be the best in that. Relaxing, breathing, finding any reason to send love out of your body. So I don't want you to, I love rewriting, obviously, but I don't want you to obsess over it to the level where you feel like it's got to be done perfectly and it's going to be the thing to get you out of a trigger. It can alleviate you, but returning to love, finding something to love, finding another thought that is an improvement, just taking a few moments to soak in the beauty of nature can be really, really good. So that is our little yummy mini lesson for today, that it's really powerful to love and find any dumb reason to love. Because that's soothing to your body and it's a return to source energy and it can calm your nervous system. And then remembering that if I were to pick anything for you to do on any given day, it would be future casting. It would be reminding yourself where you're going and how yummy it is there. And rewriting is for when you hear a chronic voice that you need to tell that there's another option. But you don't need to feel like you need to rewrite your way out of stuff and into stuff, because mainly we want to be future casting. We want to be having this vision of sitting there with our families with a huge fucking proud grin on our face, knowing that we're making this little life of ours our little bitch. That we are proud, that we are a living example for our children, that we are juicing this life. And yeah, if we got the business going, if we got the new gigs, okay, but that is just to give us an excuse to find this other yummy vibration. And so once you're on your path for a while, rewriting becomes a very small part of it. Because you come into the program and you kind of rewrite that big stuff. And as we rewrite that big stuff, the energy kind of diminishes. Do we have to get rid of it completely? Not really. We just need to tame it so it's not the dominant signal. And so then when somebody says, hey, how's it going? Your default answer is better than it used to be. The default answer used to be the explanation of why it's not perfect. And we're just trying to get to, when somebody says, how's it going? Your default answer is, I'm better. I'm feeling better than I was. I'm feeling better than ever, or better than I was. And a new life is unfolding. It feels on track, even though I don't quite see all the pieces. The default answer is different. And when the default answer is light, like I'm navigating powerfully into this other phase, and they say, oh yeah, but what about blah, 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 blah. You'd be like, yeah, I don't really talk about that anymore. I'm over that. I don't spend time there anymore. It's fine now. Because what's really happening is so much other stuff. So we're looking to shift up that default answer. And around that time is also when it's like, all right, let's fucking future cast here. Let's get that vision. Where am I going? What does it look like? In the most, with 4 bullet points, right? It's like, I'm sitting there proud, paying the bill, knowing I did it, and my kids are playing over there. And then we can go into that moment of like, well, how would it feel to be sitting on a new couch in a new living room with your kids playing, knowing you've leveled up and you're at your potential every day? How does it feel to sit and drink your beer on your couch? And then it's like, God, it just feels great. It just feels like yummy. It just feels like I did it. It feels like I'm living. It feels like I'm here. It feels like I love this. It feels like I've made it. And that is the energy work. That is, if I could prioritize anything, that is what I would do. So if you are able to do that, my prescription to you is to do that like your life depends on it. Like to prioritize it, to give it a massive chunk of time in your day, 30 minutes, an hour, where you're just sitting here. I might sit on this deck drinking a cup of coffee for a half an hour, just enjoying it because I'm kind of like drinking this coffee and being on this deck as the person who achieved the next level. So we want to be living, brewing up the energy of you next year, of you in 5 years, of you in 2 years, whatever feels good, whatever makes sense in your mind, and brew that energy up. In the very, very beginning, that can be tricky because your mind has been tormenting you. But as soon as you've done enough rewriting where the mind isn't torturing you as much, we want to go hardcore into brewing up some sexy motherfucking swagger. Because that is going to be your key. Brewing up that sexy swagger by yourself on your deck or in your office or whatever, that is what is going to get you vibing, getting the ideas, taking action, getting the Googling something new, chat GPTing something new, feeling inspired, and following the inspired actions that come to you as a result of feeling fucking awesome is the yellow brick road. That is the path. Our brains are not capable of thinking the path. The path has got to be shown to us, but we can only see it when we are vibing high. And that is why we save 100% of our efforting to find the vibe. If you find future casting absolutely impossible, then when you are trying to future cast, but it feels impossible, write down what you're thinking, because that's what needs to be rewritten. Right? You're trying to see it, and then your brain says, I don't even know what it is. I can't even see it. I don't even believe it. Are you shitting yourself? Blah, 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 blah. And you can just take that snapshot of what your brain is saying while you're trying to future cast and just see those 6 sentences as what needs to be cleaned up, improved a little bit.